Welcome, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight, and for those people joining us from over the seas. This is our very exciting, long-awaited launch for our symposium, Time and Materiality, which will happen in Geelong next November. So we're exactly a year out. I'm going to pass it over now to Marion Shapiro.
I just want to do acknowledgement of country before we start. In the spirit of reconciliation, MAANZ acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Marion Shapiro. I'm currently the MAANZ Vice President. Tonight I'm standing in for Dorothy Burke, but this is her message to you all. Between the 14th and 18th of November 2024, the Victorian city of Geelong will come alive with all things mosaics. Mosaic artists, hobbyists, presenters, exhibitions and vendors. The MAANZ 2024 Symposium, Time and Materiality, will be held at the waterfront Novotel Geelong, where plenary sessions and most workshops will be held. This 4-day event will bring to our shores artists who are at the leading edge of our art form and who have never previously presented in Australia. Homegrown talent will complement the international presenters. Over 4 days, we will be treated to workshops by some of the best contemporary mosaic artists. These artists have been handpicked to deliver a variety of exciting workshops and informative presentations. The National Wool Museum has been selected to house the international exhibition. This beautifully restored wool store provides an ideal setting for the mosaics to be exhibited, while the ever-popular 3030 exhibition would be displayed in the nearby Hue and Cry Gallery. The City of Geelong Library will be the venue for one of the social nights, with great views from the rooftop bar. The symposium package includes all plenary sessions, social events, access to a vendor's market, exhibitions, salon viewing, quiz night, gallery talks, and lots of networking. Workshops are extra, but just think how much it would cost to take a workshop overseas. We're bringing the artists to you. We're hoping to get about 150 people, so, let's hope. And we will be opening for early bird registrations early in the new year. And just think what a wonderful holiday gift that would make for somebody. And for your information, MAANZ will this year be providing a payment plan so that you can spread the expenditure. There is a range of accommodation options near the host venue. Geelong is situated at the start of the Great Ocean Road and the Bellarine Peninsula, and it's just over an hour's drive from Melbourne. So that provides plenty of opportunities to extend your stay and to see more of Australia. And we would love you to be part of this wonderful event.
As you can see, there's a team of us working to put this together. Marion, who we've just heard from, myself, Caitlin, who's the MAANZ Education Officer, and Amanda Tatham, who's acting at the moment as MAANZ Secretary. I just want to acknowledge and thank Helen Hughes, who's the MAANZ Treasurer, Sharon Pine, who was until very recently a member of this committee as well, until she stepped down as MAANZ Secretary, and also David Lacey, who is very active on the back end of operations, together with Helen Hughes and also Marion, particularly with the website, Michelina. There's a big team of people working on this project. I'll begin now by just speaking briefly to the theme of the symposium. Time and Materiality, we've subtitled with Exploring Change and Material Range. Now, when you assign a theme to an exhibition or to a symposium like this, it is intended to act as a kind of provocation. It's like a different way to think about what we do. And so some of the questions we might ask ourselves is, why do we make mosaics? Who are we making them for? And to really interrogate a little bit about the role the materials we're using might play in the works we make. I have to say, there's nothing you can do wrong in however you choose to explore this theme. It's very, very open. You could decide to make a work for inclusion in either the 3030 or the international exhibition, which explores just something to do with time, or it could just be something to do with materiality, or it could be indeed to do with both of them. It's a kind of two-pronged idea, but there's really no wrong way to explore it. It's entirely up to you and very inclusive. So welcome to Geelong. It's a regional city. You can see we're on Corio Bay, and in fact, I'm speaking to you from a house that I can see in this picture somewhere up to the left here. This is the Geelong Marina. This is Eastern Beach, and just out of the picture on the right-hand side, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but just down here is the Novotel, right on the waterfront where the symposium will be, and we're about an hour or so from Melbourne. The traditional owners of the Geelong region are the Wadawurrung people. And it's very important that we acknowledge the Wadawurrung people as the First Nations and traditional owners of this land. They've lived in the Geelong region for more than 25,000 years before the arrival of white settlers. And as you can imagine, they were living here in quite prolific numbers. But as has happened in many parts of Australia and many countries that have been colonised, they have been decimated by disease and bad behaviour by the colonists. And but nevertheless, there are still very significant numbers of Wadawurrung people here today, and we honour Wadawurrung culture in Geelong. There are lots of different ways to get to Geelong. Obviously, if you have a yacht and you're within sailing distance, you can come on water and bring it here to the Geelong Marina. We're also well serviced by rail, and we're well serviced by air transport. For those of you in the US, and I think we might have a few people tuning in from Europe as well, you can see that Geelong is in the state of Victoria, right down in the southeast of the mainland of Australia. And we're about an hour away from the main Melbourne airport, which is called Tullamarine. And with this being Geelong, where my cursor is now, we have another airport quite close to us, just half an hour away, called Avalon Airport, which runs fairly regular flights to other major capital cities. And I think it has recently resumed a couple of international flights to Asia, not to Europe or the States. But otherwise, it's about an hour, really, to get to Geelong, either from Tullamarine Airport or from Avalon. We're just an hour or so away from Melbourne by road, unless you're driving in peak hour traffic, in which case it can take somewhat longer. But it's a distance, I think, of about 80 kilometres, something like that. You can also come to Geelong by ferry. There's a ferry which now connects Geelong with Melbourne, which takes about an hour and 20 minutes, and that's a really scenic trip across Corio Bay. And this ferry that's referenced here is actually a ferry that connects Queenscliff with Sorrento over here. So there's a big bay, Corio Bay, and in fact Port Phillip Bay is the larger bay. But if we have attendees coming to the symposium from Gippsland, for example, or if you're driving down from New South Wales, you might like to come down to the Mornington Peninsula and catch the ferry across from Sorrento to Queenscliff. We also, as I said, are well serviced by train, and the train services connecting Geelong to Melbourne run about on the hour. Actually, no, they're more frequent than that. It's about every 20 minutes. Until you get late at night. You can also take the Spirit of Tasmania, which is this ginormous vessel that connects the Australian mainland with Tasmania. And there are, I think, 2 sailings a day. And I couldn't put this up without taking the opportunity to show you one of the mosaics I made last year with the help of Carolina Zanelli for the Spirit of Tasmania ferry terminal. So that's another really great way to get to Geelong. The other thing is, for people who are coming to the symposium, you might like to include it with a holiday that you might take before or after the symposium, and a trip to Tassie would be a really beautiful way to bookend things. So now you're in Geelong and the Bellarine, which is the name for the greater region. Down here in the left-hand corner, you'll see a picture of Chrissy Amphlett, who was lead singer of the Divinals, one of the poster girls for Geelong. And, you know, it's a place with some beautiful gardens. You can see the beautiful fountain there at Eastern Beach. And let's take a closer look. So this map shows us a little bit of a closer view of where we'll be in Geelong. This area here where I'm moving the cursor is the Novotel, where the symposium hub will be located. And if you remember looking at the photograph a moment ago, we saw Eastern Beach with the Ferris wheel and the marina. So most of our activities will be held here. The National War Museum, where the international exhibition will be held, is here. Over here is the Geelong Library, where our salon and quiz night will be held. And just here is the Geelong train station. So it's all very, very easy to get to. Over here is where Hue and Cry Gallery is. Everything is within very easy walking distance. And the ferry, which connects Geelong to Melbourne, comes into this pier right here. So it's all super duper close. There are a number of really good hotels, which I'll speak about in a little while, which are in very close proximity. I've just put a photograph in here too from Ocean Grove, which is one of the really beautiful surf beaches, just about a 25-minute drive away. Again, for visitors who are coming from further away, Geelong is the gateway to the Great Ocean Road and also to Bells Beach and all the really great surf beaches down that way. So Geelong offers many, many quality options for accommodation. I'm going to start with the Novotel. Now, most of these hotels will be offering the symposium guests a special rate, and we're already in discussions with them about having a promo code, but we know that some people have already tried to make some bookings, and a lot of these hotels won't open for bookings as far as a year out. So worry not, we will be back in touch with you soon with promo codes and things so that you can start to make some bookings. But I'll just show you a few of the options here. So obviously the Novotel puts you right in the heart of things. You've just got to tumble out your bedroom door in the morning and straight downstairs to the symposium. Ridges is also very close by, and they're probably the two higher end hotel options. Our hotel, you can see by the location, if you can just see the Ferris wheel there, you'll see it's very, very close to the Novotel and the waterfront, and so to a View Apartments. So there are a number of serviced apartment options, which might be of particular interest to people coming in small groups, or you might be travelling with a partner or a friend who's not participating in the symposium and wants to go off tripping to wineries and things during the day and maybe make their own meals. And so it's useful to have a kitchen set up. The Quest is brand new. It only opened a month ago. They've offered a very reasonable rate for MAANZ Symposium delegates, and they also have a complimentary shuttle bus, which they're happy to make available for delegates arriving to the airport nearby, or if people just want a little ride up the hill at the end of the day. It's not a big hill, it's a small hill, but they'll make that shuttle bus available as needed. And again, you can see they're more apartment-like. There's another accommodation which is really excellent, but it's a little bit of a further walk away. It's perfect for people who are looking for a recently renovated motel, which is quite funky, mid-century in style. It's got a swimming pool. That is an outdoor pool, which most of the other hotels don't have. It's got an outdoor spa, and it's particularly well set up for people who might be driving. They can park their car under their room, and it's a really excellent cost. It's about a 20-minute walk through the park and along the beach to the Novotel in the mornings. So you're probably wondering, okay, I'm in Geelong now. I know how I got there. What's going on? What are we doing? So we will be starting with the plenary. The plenary session is a session which everybody attends together, and that will be the first big day. and it'll be followed by workshops in the AGM. It'll happen in this room, the Peninsula Room at the Novotel Hotel, and this is the outlook from that room. The Novotel, as you can see here, has 109 guest rooms with balconies overlooking the water, where I have to say the dolphins recently came back too. So it's beautiful, and it's really beautiful for swimming. Exactly 1 year out, it's just been gorgeous here. So it's a good time of year. Now is the very exciting time to share with you our first speaker, Luca Barberini.
Hello, everybody. Thank
Ciao,
you.
Luca.
Hi, Caitlin. I'm so happy to participate in the symposium like a keynote speaker. I'm really, really proud about it. It will be my first time in Australia. And I'm so exciting. Thank you so much to invite me. I'm so excited to see Geelong. I'm so excited. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Luca, can you tell us just in a minute or two, just a really quick thing about yourself for people who don't know you?
Okay, I introduce myself. My name is Luca Barberini. I'm a visual artist, and I use mosaic medium to explain my vision and my art. I opened the Coco Mosaico studio in Ravenna with Arianna Gallo, my wife, 18 years ago. And since that time, we start to work with mosaic, with the classic Ravenna's mosaics for clients, for commissions. But then I discover that I can add some more skills on the classic mosaics. And now I had many exhibitions abroad in museums, galleries, and I think my style is unique. And one of the most important things about my art is the message that they have. And so little by little, years by years, the quantity of the materials be less, and the message be more important. Usually I touch different topics like social, politics, environment. I had different periods. For example, one of my last exhibitions was based on my dream, my sleeping dream. That I needed because the heavies of politics and social humanity problems, it was so much. So I decided to do something more easy and light. And of course, I'm always in research in the new motivations for my career.
Fantastic. It's very exciting. It's going to be really so much fun to have you here, Luca. And I think you're a great example of storytelling in mosaic and how important that is. We're very excited to have you on board. Thank you for making time to join us. Fantastic. I'd like to also share with you the other 4 international presenters who will be joining us. 4 amazing international guest presenters and workshop leaders. So I know you can read this, but I'm going to read it anyway. Mireille Swinnen joining us from Belgium, Tamara Froud from the UK, Annabella Weaver from Venezuela, the USA, and Arianna Gallo from Italy. So it's incredibly exciting for us to have all of these incredible leading mosaic artists accept the invitation of the committee to join us. And we have a little hello video from Tamara, who's currently on a bus in Jordan.
Hello, I am Tamara Froud. You might know me from the Mosaic for Afghan Women project, but I am a London-based mosaic artist, and I'm dedicated to bringing mosaic art to a wider audience. To that end, I've worked with over 50,000 children and adults of all ages and abilities. I'm also the current president of BAM, the British Association for Modern Mosaic, and generally I like to travel the world to teach, to set up and to work on collaborative mosaic projects. So I am super excited to be coming to Australia to be part of the MAANZ 2024 event, where I will be speaking and also running some workshops. Hope to see you there.
Fantastic. I think Tamara was going to see if she could possibly join us, but I'm sure she's on a bus.
But we do have Annabella joining us, and we do have Ariana. So I can spotlight Annabella and she can say a few words.
Hello, everyone. It is so great. I am so excited to come to Australia. I've never been there like Luca, and I think Ariana either. It'll be great fun to see and to meet the people that I sometimes talk to, chat with. It'll be really great to see everyone in person. A little about myself. I am originally from Venezuela. I do live in the United States and have for quite a while. Most of my mosaic training has actually happened in Italy. And one of my first courses was with Ariana and Luca pretty much when they opened Coco Mosaico. So it'll be great fun to see that. I am most recently doing a lot of work about the impact of humans in the environment. I didn't know I was an activist mosaicist, but that has sort of come to the surface. So I work mostly in the classical manner, and I am really, really focused on what each line of mosaic can tell and what it allows you to do in terms of storytelling in our work. And so I am hoping to share some of that with you all and teach some courses while I'm there and see your beautiful country. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much, Annabella, for joining us. We have one more of the international presenters who's going to be joining us in person a year from now. Ariana.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy and very excited to be here this morning, Italian morning for me. And thank you very much for inviting me in Australia for this MAANZ Symposium. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Arianna Gallo. I am a mosaic artist. I have my own studio in Ravenna, in Italy, Coco Mosaico. Luca just introduced Coco Mosaico to you. In Coco Mosaico, I follow all the commissions and the educational part. I mean, I run workshops here. You can come to Ravenna and you can join, for example, one weekly intense workshop with me and with Anita, my assistant, which is also my sister. And I'm very happy to work with my sister because she graduated from the Mosaic School of Spilimbergo in Friuli Venezia Giulia, which is a quite important school of mosaic in Italy. And so I'm very happy because we can share and we can combine the Ravenna's technique and the Spilimbergo's technique, which is something very interesting, I can say. And in the symposium, I'm going to have a speech to present my work and to run a workshop. So I'm very excited and I can't wait to meet all of you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arianna. It's a real honour for us to have artists of the calibre of Luca, Mireille, Tamara, Annabella and Arianna joining us. They are not the only presenters who will be presenting at the plenary. We also have several others, but we're just giving you the big picture at the moment, and we'll go through with more detail as we get closer to the event. But this page shares with you the essence of the program. So the idea is that on Thursday, the 14th of November, if you haven't already arrived in Geelong, you'll be arriving in order to register at the Novotel. You drop in, register, get all your symposium goodies in your bag and your lanyard and everything. And then that evening will be the official opening of the symposium and also the opening of the international exhibition, which will happen at the National War Museum. The following day, on the Friday the 15th, is the plenary, as I explained earlier. So between 9 a.m. and 4:30, we'll be having a series of 10 illustrated lectures, longer pieces and shorter pieces, and followed by a celebration dinner between 7 and 10. The workshops we're going to conduct over 3 days, and it's the first time this has happened. Caitlin will be telling us a bit more about that shortly. But basically, the workshops will run in 2 4-hour blocks from 8:30 till 12:30 and then 1:30 till 5:30. So they're quite big days. On the evening of Saturday the 16th, we'll have the opening of the 3030 exhibition at Hue and Cry. And then it's just really a 5-minute walk over to the Geelong Library, where in the top room, which is called Wurda Yuang, which has a spectacular balcony overlooking Corio Bay, we're going to have the salon and quiz night, and we'll hear more about those shortly. On the Sunday, the mosaic workshops continue, but we will be having a very special highlight AGM at lunchtime that day, which is very important that as many people as possible attend, because MAANZ is your organisation. We're a volunteer-run, community-led org, and we really need everybody to be part of it and have a say. Monday the 18th will be the last day of the symposium, and we're not finishing with a big bang. We're finishing with a little gentle winding down with a final day of workshops. So the plenary, as I said, will consist of 10 illustrated slide lectures. This slide shows David Jack speaking some years ago. Next year, our symposium will be the first in-person gathering for 5 years, which is very, very significant for all of us. Exhibitions. I'm going to hand over now to Caitlin Hepworth, who's going to share details with us about the exhibitions. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you very much, Helen. So this symposium will see the continuation of our exciting exhibition program with the return of both the international and 3030 exhibitions. These events provide opportunities for both established and emerging mosaic artists to enter and showcase their practice to each other as well as a broader community. The international exhibition will be held at the National Wool Museum, a public museum space which has a previous relationship with mosaic art, hosting Mosaic Now in 2007, which was a touring exhibition showcasing works from Australia and Spilimbergo, Italy. The International is a juried exhibition aimed at mosaicists who are more established in their practice. However, all members have the opportunity to enter their work for consideration. So a juried exhibition means that our mosaic artists can submit up to 2 wall hanging or sculptural works for consideration, and then an esteemed panel of jurors will review the digital submissions and curate a selection of work which they feel exhibits excellence in mosaic practice. In the past, approximately 50% of entries are accepted. The selected works are then installed and blind judging takes place in the gallery space, winners are announced on opening night, and significant financial prizes are awarded. This time round, there is a change in that the international exhibition will be themed as time and materiality in line with the symposium. Our second exhibition is the 3030, and this will be held at Hue and Cry Collective, and this is an open exhibition. This means that all entries that fit the criteria will be included in the show. This show is suitable for beginning mosaicists through to more established practitioners. We strongly encourage you to enter, especially if you have not exhibited your work before. This time around, the 3030 will not be themed. So artists can create work that is on a theme of their choice and in any material. The unifying thread in this exhibition is that all works are wall hanging and strictly sized at 30 by 30 centimetres. This exhibition will also have a dedicated opening event at which prizes are awarded. This time round, our exhibitions will be coordinated by Barb Ullenbrook with the support of Bev Plowman. Okay, so now a little bit of information about our workshop program. The educational opportunities offered at symposiums are a highlight for many of our members. And in 2024, as Helen has outlined, we have a full 3-day program that will cater for members with a variety of experience from beginner through to advanced. And I hope you like my little graphic. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, the trapezoids and the irregular pentagons. So we're offering a selection of workshops of varying duration, styles, and price points. So this will include things such as panel discussions, gallery talks, half-day workshops, full-day workshops, and 2-day workshop offerings. So you can participate for as little as 2 hours right up to a full 16-hour workshop, which gives you a really big chunk of time to get stuck into the content. So these workshops are not tokenistic. They are really worth considering carefully. Our panel of instructors has been carefully curated with our international tutors not having taught an MAANZ symposium previously. So our international tutor lineup will be Luca Barberini from Italy, Tamara Froud from the UK, Ariana Gallo from Italy, Mireille Swinen from Belgium, and Annabella Wewa from the USA. To complement our international tutors, we have invited a select range of homegrown talent. This is including, but not limited to, the following people: David Jack from Victoria, Deanna Kernick from South Australia, Catherine Connerty from Queensland, and Wendy Edwards from Tasmania. The workshops will all be held in our symposium hub, either the Novotel Geelong or the nearby National Wool Museum. And full workshop details are currently being prepared and will be available on our website ahead of registration in the new year. So we have a really broad range of exciting opportunities, exciting learning opportunities for all of our members. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks so much, Caitlin. I'm so excited. It sounds so great. I wish it was happening tomorrow, but I'm relieved it's not happening tomorrow. Welcome back to Marion Shapiro. Marion, you're going to tell us a bit about the vendors market and some of the other exciting events.
I am. As in previous symposia, we're intending to have a vendors market. We're going to be approaching Australian mosaic suppliers to ask them to take part in this. And this will basically run throughout the symposium, and it will give you all the chance to, get your hands on the goodies in real life rather than having to look through things online. So yeah, bring some extra bags, basically. One of the other things, again, that we've had before in the symposium is the small work salon. This is just really a fun, informal event where symposium attendees and their guests basically have the opportunity to browse and bid for unique mosaic artworks. Exhibitors display a small work, which goes to the highest bidder in a silent auction. And everybody gets to come to the salon, but to exhibit and sell in it, you do need to buy an exhibitor's place. Tickets for this will be available when registration opens, and places for exhibitors are limited, and they often sell out. So basically, buy your ticket when you register if you want to exhibit. Works exhibited in the salon must be mosaic and must be small, 30 by 30 centimeters or smaller, but there are no other restrictions. As an artist, you set your own starting price. MAANZ takes no commission for this. And in previous salons, everything has sold and gone to a new home with a happy buyer. So I encourage you, to think about exhibiting.
Thanks so much, Marion. So I think we're drilling down now to probably some of the questions a lot of you have, which is how much will it cost and how and when do I register? So early bird registrations for MAANZ members will open in the new year. We can't give you a date just yet because we've got some website overhauls to undertake. Suffice to say that you need to be a MAANZ member to be eligible for early bird registration. Registrations for non-MAANZ members will open on the 1st of May if there are still places available. We had a substantial number of people registered tonight. I can see there's 101 on screen at the moment, and we're aiming for about 150 places. Quite a number of people were unable to attend tonight's launch. So I would say to people that if they're not yet a MAANZ member and they want to come to the symposium, they need to sign up to ensure that they will have the chance of an early bird registration. Symposium registration will cost $550 and include attendance to the plenary and the social events. Lunches, morning, afternoon tea, venue hire, all of those things are included within that cost. And additional to those will be the workshops and other add-ons like if you want to enter the exhibitions or the salon, there's a fee, as Marion and Caitlin explained. So the whole symposium package will cost around about $1,000 plus your accommodation and travel. Again, it's substantially less than flying to Europe and tripping yourself around Europe to learn from people of this calibre. MAANZ plans to set up a payment plan to allow those who may be a little bit more cash strapped to pace their payments. We have to do it in a way that is that our administration permits. The last thing that I just wanted to add too is that MAANZ does need helpers at the moment. MAANZ is run by volunteers, and at the moment there is a very small number of people doing a lot of work. We need more help, and we would love you to be part of things. And so if you feel that you'd like to put up your hand for something, whether that's being a bit of a runner during the symposium or you're happy to help out in some way in the lead up to it, you can email me at helen@helenbodycomb.com. So we've done this before. We'd love you to be part of making history again. Each time MAANZ has had a symposium gathering, it is a history-making event. And next year will be no different.
Thank you, Helen. Well, what I'd like to do is to possibly have another event like this where we can really flesh out the workshop program and invite our tutors back to talk about the content of their workshops, who it's suitable for, and all that kind of thing. So when bookings open, you're really fully informed about the style of workshops that might suit you, and you're ready to book into that. So I do have a little time if anybody wants to ask any question. You can contact Helen or myself or Marion, and we will do our best to answer any questions you might have. And we're really looking forward to, getting this all live and ready to go. And we're so privileged to have you all here tonight as well to share with this wonderful live essentially soft launch of our wonderful event.
Could you explain the title, time and materiality a little bit, please?
Janet, time is a measure of change, and time can be interpreted in many, many ways. People can explore time through timekeeping, like watches or clocks or things like that. You can see that the feature image is a dandelion. It's about the fact that everything changes. And I guess materiality just is about materials, and not all mosaicists make using smelty and marble. Some mosaicists are increasingly becoming more experimental and exploratory with the materials that they feel can best lend voice to the story that they have to share or tell through their work. So you can interpret time and materiality either together or as two separate things. You might, take this as an opportunity to be more exploratory. You might start working with timber, or make a work that's in some way about change. It can be about the very unusual period of time that we've all just emerged from, and I hope we're still very much emerging from the pandemic. A lot of people experience time in unique ways under those circumstances. You can interpret these in many, many different ways. There's no wrong way to interpret time and materiality, either like twins or as one or either element. Do you want to add anything to that, Caitlin?
And I think you answered that really well, Helen. But I think that it would be good if we can open further discussion around our members' interpretation of that theme. So that might be something that we look to our social media coordinators to assist with, and just to get the discussion going, and without spelling out it must be this or that. That's the last thing we want to do. It's a thread. It's a thread for the overarching conference and the topics that might be spoken to, and it's a thread for our artists who are going to enter our international exhibition. We do have another question from Tani Bates.
You've just provided 5 of the most extraordinary artists to do a workshop with, and correctly so. It is expensive to gather those artists all in one place at one time. I've got 4 of those artists that I'd like to go and do workshop with. Is there going to be opportunity through MAANZ to be able to access more than one workshop?
Okay, well, a couple of things to that. So we've at this point based the workshop numbers, or the places available, on the percentage of uptake of workshop spots from previous symposia. So not everyone who attends is going to do 3 days of workshops, and it would be unwise for MAANZ to put ourselves in a place where we have lots of workshops with 3 people in them. So we have managed our number statistically based on what's happened previously. Saying that, though, that we're capping our practical workshops at 15 places, so that we're not accepting huge numbers into practical workshops, and most of those will also be with an assistant in the workshop to help out. Probably what you're leading to, though, is are there going to be other opportunities for these tutors to teach elsewhere? Probably yes, there will, but I would like to say that is going to be brokered through MAANZ. MAANZ will be working with our branches, our reps, to find suitable venues around Australia. But we won't be releasing workshops elsewhere until we have minimum numbers for our own event, which is the reason that these guests are coming. So we hope to be able to provide a really rich and full program at the symposium event, with other opportunities throughout Australia that have been arranged through MAANZ itself.
You were talking about the 30 by 30 exhibition. Do we provide our own substrate for that? So do we need to cut out
Yes, we do.
material?
So the 30 by 30 exhibition, the strict size limit is 30 by 30 centimetres. Now, if it's not something that you have been familiar with before, there will be a comprehensive information sheet that goes out around what's required. There are also a number of suppliers in our community who sell pre-cut substrates at that size. So we can also put you in touch with those suppliers so you can order yourself one online, which will come at the correct size with the correct hanging system on it.
Okay.
So yes, each artist supplies their own, because not everyone may like to use the same thing, because it's completely open in terms of your materials.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Serena, thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to hop back for a minute to the theme, and just to say that the Victorian branch, and I seem like I'm digressing here, but I'm not really. We've got a little social event on the 10th of December where we're having lunch together at Young and Jackson's Hotel. We will be announcing at that 4 sessions which the Victorian branch has planned for next year in order to help our Victorian members prepare for the symposium. And the first of those will be an exploration of what time and materiality means to each of the people who like to rock up to that event. And that's one way in which some of the other branches, you know, might like to consider helping their members prepare. And sometimes if you're unused to exploring ideas that sit outside of your normal practice, you might feel a little bit intimidated. So it's good just to get together with other people and share questions, whether it's about how to prepare your substrate for the 30-30 or whether it's about how to explore the theme. So I think just to encourage everybody to, you know, use the solidarity of your member group, you know, contact your state rep if you've got other questions around this, and they'll help you together with other members in your area to, you know, to work towards developing these ideas together.
There will be lots of other information coming about all elements of the symposium in Opus Oracle, in emails, on our social media, and so on. And, you know, if you've got any questions from tonight, you can just email us or contact us through the MAANZ website, and, you know, we will be happy to get back to you. Thank you to everybody for coming and giving your time to tonight. That I am, you know, beyond excited to see this coming to fruition, and I hope to see everybody in Geelong next year.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.